Cheers! Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Olivia, and today I am really excited for today's video. I am filming a little Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me a few questions, and we have like a really good range, but I just thought it'd be fun to like have a little chat with you guys. And if you guys want to, then leave like your responses to these questions in the comments, because that would be like really interesting for me to read. So yeah, this is probably going to be kind of a long rambly video, because anyone who knows me knows that I am just horrendous at like actually getting to the point when I am telling a story or anything. So I always take forever to actually say what I'm trying to say. You might want to grab a drink. I just have some water and let's get started. So I've written down like all the questions in my little notebook here. So if you're wondering why I keep looking down, that is why. I'm going to start with some of the more kind of not quick fire questions, but like kind of more quick questions and more like simple easy ones, because you know, just like ease me in, because I feel like I'm not very good at this. The first question we will go for is my friend Peter asked a bunch of questions and they're so funny. I'm gonna answer them anyway because they made me laugh. So the first one is, would you rather have spaghetti for hair or sweat honey? So this is like so easy. I thought I would rather have spaghetti for hair because honey is so sticky. Then the next one I got was, would you rather go back to the past or go forward to the future? And I definitely would rather go back to the past. I definitely think there's kind of positives and negatives to both, because in the future I feel like the world would be a lot more like diverse and advanced in terms of kind of morals and like social ideals, which I would like. But past, like fashion, I feel like is so good. The music is so good. I feel like not having technology would be so good. I feel like there's definitely positives and negatives to both, but I think on balance I'd probably rather live in the past than the future. Then someone's asked, what is one famous person that you would love to meet? I actually have no idea. I think they said dead or alive as well, so it could be like anybody. I'm thinking maybe Julie Andrews, to be honest, because I just feel like she's such a queen and I would be like, I just love her. She's just such a, I'm like, wow, you're amazing. I can't really decide, but she would definitely be in like my top 5. Would you rather be 3 inches taller or 3 inches shorter? Definitely 3 inches shorter. I am like 5'11". I feel like, I don't know if I look tall or like if people, because I feel like when you see people on like Instagram and YouTube and stuff, you don't actually like, I feel like you can have a really wrong perception of their height. Like I definitely see people and I think they're really short, and then they say like I'm actually quite tall. But yeah, so I'm 5'11", which is like so tall, and I hate it. Like I hate being tall. All my friends who are short all say like, no, if you were short you would hate being short, like it's, the grass is always greener. But I just hate being tall. I feel like I just always look too big for things. All my friends are actually quite short, so I feel like when I'm in photos with them I always just look like I am like the mum friend, which I kind of am, but I don't really like it. Like and I feel like I can never wear, well I do, like I was gonna say I can never wear heels because I do, but I feel like I look stupid because I just look like an actual daddy long legs. Everyone else that is tall I feel like looks really like kind of like their body is really proportionate, but I don't think mine is. But then I feel like that's just me being like self-critical. So yeah, basically I'd rather be 3 inches shorter. My favourite vegan food. That's hard. Okay, I'm gonna say chickpeas because they're very versatile. Like I have made brownies with chickpeas before and they're so good. You can make hummus, which is like my favourite food. You can make like chickpea burgers, you can make bread out of chickpeas. The like water, the aquafaba from chickpeas is like so handy for like pancakes and stuff. So I'd probably say chickpeas because they are like the most versatile thing and I can make a lot with them. What are my favourite videos to film? I actually really So I prefer filming vlogs, but I prefer editing like sit down videos. So I would prefer editing this video to editing a vlog, because vlogs are like, I film so much and there's a lot of days where I like sit and just like have a half an hour long chat on my vlog, and I don't seem to understand that that's like, that could be a sit down video, do you know what I mean? So I find vlogs difficult to edit because I find it hard to get them down to a certain, like a kind of reasonable time, like 15-20 minutes. And they're also quite like, my vlogs tend to be quite chaotic. But my favourite videos to film would be vlogs. There's quite time consuming to edit. My favourite book of the Bible, that's such a tough one. See, like my favourite Bible story I think is Esther. But I don't think it's my favourite book of the Bible. I think if I had to pick a book, I'd probably go for like the really standard answer that I feel like everyone would say, and probably say Psalms, because it's the one that I feel like I go back to the most whenever I need like comfort and reassurance. And I feel like I've said this to so many people, but there is 100% a psalm for every mood. Like, I'm doing this devotional at the minute and it said like, whatever you're feeling, a psalmist has felt it. And it's so true. Like, there's psalms when people are literally like, I want to die, I have never felt this low, like this is awful, I'm so alone. And there's psalms when people are like, praise God, everything is amazing, I am so happy. And then there's everything in between. So I feel like psalms, because there is 100% a psalm for every mood and they are very relatable. Do you believe in the 1 year 4 days theory? This is from my friend Imogen, and Imogen, I'm gonna say yes. If you guys want to know what that is, give this video a thumbs up, maybe I'll tell you at some point. Are your parents chill or really strict? My parents are so chill. They are, I feel like my dad is definitely more chill than my mum, because he was quite like a rebellious child and like young adult, because I think his parents were very strict, so he was quite rebellious. So I feel like he is not strict with me because he knows that there's nothing I could do that he hasn't done and there's nothing that I could do that he could be cross with me about, because he's probably done it or worse. So I feel like my dad's definitely not strict. My mum's not strict either, but I feel like she definitely is like more protective. I think definitely growing up, because my dad, I think I've said this before, my dad was a pilot, and so he wasn't here a lot whenever I was growing up, so my mum had to kind of like discipline us, whereas my dad never really had to do that. So I feel like in my head my mum is more strict than my dad, but neither of them are strict at all. Who's your favourite sibling? Ooh, I can't pick a favourite sibling, can I? Oh, maybe I can. For anyone who doesn't know, I have 3 siblings. So I have 2 brothers and a sister. My sister's the oldest, and then there's the boys and then me, so I'm like the baby. I feel like I can't pick a favourite sibling. It's too mean. Maybe I can, because I know there's only one of them will probably watch this video. If any of my siblings are watching this video, comment down below and tell me that you are watching it, or send me a text and tell me that you've watched it, because whichever one of you watches this video, you are my favourite. And that's the tea. Most binge-worthy TV show? Friends, hands down, no competition. End of conversation. 3 things you would take with you to a desert island. And then someone else asked, if I was stranded on a desert island, who are 5 people, dead or alive, that I would want with me? So answer the 3 things first. So can I say a boat? Okay, probably my Bible would be my first thing. Can I say a boat? Like, because if I had a boat, I could get it off. Okay, well, if I can say a boat, then my Bible, a boat, and water. But if I'm not allowed to say a boat, then my Bible, my dog, and water. Oh, and 5 people that I would want with me. So we'll go with Julie Andrews, because, like I said, she's definitely in my top 5 people, like, that if I could meet them, then yeah, so we'll go Julie Andrews. Bear Grylls, because I just feel like he'd be a very useful person to have in that situation. and also I'm pretty sure he's a Christian, so I feel like it would be good to be surrounded by other people who like feel the same things as you. My best friend Hannah, because I feel like she's like the most similar person to me, so I feel like I would definitely need someone to kind of keep me sane, and she would best probably be able to do that. I'm also going to say Shane Todd because he's hilarious, so he would keep the spirits high, and Chessie King because she's also hilarious, but I feel like she's just such like, she's positive but she's not like too positive. Like people, do you know the people who are just like positive all the time that it's just like too much? She's like real and like kind of realistic but also quite positive. Like she would keep the spirits up, but she would also like I feel like she would give really good hugs. I really feel like she would give really good hugs. If you don't know who Chessie King is, she's like the queen of the world basically, and you should follow her on Instagram if you don't, because her Instagram, it literally makes my life better. Julie Andrews, Bear Grylls, my friend Hannah, Shane Todd and Chessie King. One thing you would tell your teenage self, and I had a couple of people ask things like along the same lines of this. I actually really want to do a whole video, and I want to do it with my mum, like a video of kind of what you would tell like your 12-13-year-old self. So let me know if that's something you would like to see. But I think probably if I could give one piece of advice to my teenage self, it would definitely, well, I still am teenage, but like my kind of early teenage self, treat yourself the way you would treat other people. That is my piece of advice. Treat yourself the way you would treat other people, because I feel like this definitely isn't just me, but I generally prioritise other people's happiness above my own, and I don't think that's necessarily always a bad thing, but when it is at the detriment of your own mental health, then it definitely is not good. I would never intentionally say something like negative or demeaning about another person, especially about like how they look or something about their personality. So, but I would generally say those things to myself a lot. So I think a lot of my struggles, my like personal struggles, have, if I had taken that piece of advice, they are struggles I would not have had, because generally they were struggles of like I wasn't being kind enough to myself, and I wasn't giving myself enough grace. Why did you start YouTube, and what made you want to start YouTube? I got this question a lot as well. I have wanted to start a YouTube channel for honestly like so long. The past few years I've thought like it's something I would really enjoy. I've always made little videos. I've done quite a few mission teams, and every time I go on a mission team and every time I go on holiday, I always make like a little video of it, and it is not generally like a video that I talk in at all. It's more like a kind of montage, but it's always something like editing and filming has always been something I've really enjoyed since I was honestly like about 13 or 14. I've always made those little videos of trips that I went on. To be honest, I probably always thought like people will judge me and people will think I'm really stupid and weird, and do you know what, that's fine. Whenever we went into lockdown, I thought, first of all, I have the time and it's always something I've wanted to do, so why not do it now? But I also thought two things. That first of all, starting a YouTube channel in lockdown would be quite a nice thing to be able to look back on in, you know, 5 years, 10 years and think like, oh my goodness, that's what I was doing, like that's so funny that I did that when I was in lockdown and that's how I coped or whatever. But also it, I think, has really helped me, and this is one thing I thought at the start, I was like, I want to do it because I think it'll really help me kind of mentally to like process things and to not kind of, I don't know, I'm not saying that like I don't have bad days, because I obviously do, but I feel like starting YouTube has definitely helped me to have probably less bad days and also to make something good of my bad days, because I think like, okay, well why don't you just vlog, because then I would vlog and I would get up and it would take me out of my own head, which sounds so stupid because I was just filming myself, so like why would it take me out of my own head, but it kind of takes me out of like making everything negative and making everything about me, to be honest, because I would think like, okay, well, how can I make this video interesting for myself to look back on and for other people to watch? Before I know it, the day's over and I've done like 3 things that have been really good for me to do. So yeah, that was a really long answer, but I hope I answered that question. I had a few questions around like travel and places that I would like to live in the future. So I got one that was like, if you could live anywhere other than Northern Ireland, where would it be? Short term, if I had to live in another country, I'm gonna say Bali, because that kind of area of the world is somewhere that I've never actually been to Bali, but I've been to kind of Indonesia, like Asia kind of, and it's a part of the world that I really, really love. This sounds so stupid, but the food there is amazing. It's just like so fresh and lovely. But also to be by the beach. Long term, like if I had to live in another country for the rest of my life, can I say Scotland? Or is that cheating because it's not technically another country? Okay, well, if I can say Scotland, I would say Scotland because it's just my favourite place. I love it. I love the people, especially like Edinburgh and kind of around that area. It's just, I have so many happy memories there. I have family there. I've been, you know, to camp in Scotland. I have been on family holidays there. I have done swimming races there. I just have so many happy memories, and I just feel like it is somewhere that I could definitely see myself being happy. It's different enough to Northern Ireland and definitely less of like a small-minded society and slightly more diverse. However, it's not like too different. Someone else has asked, I got this asked a few times as well actually, where is one place that you would most want to travel? So Bali, Greece and like Thailand probably. What were your summer plans for this year before Corona? So I had a really fun summer this year. I was going to be going on holiday with my friend Ruth, and we actually hadn't booked this, but we had kind of narrowed it down to like a few places, and we were actually about to book it in, I want to say February, and then my mum was like, no, wait until like the end of March, because they always get like there's always like deals come out then. So we were like waiting, and then obviously by the end of March we knew that it wasn't going to be feasible. So we're actually pretty lucky that we hadn't booked it, because we obviously didn't lose any money. But yes, I actually, the day I'm filming this, should have been getting home today from that, so that's really sad. We were probably going to be in Fuerteventura, so that's really sad. And then tomorrow I would have been leaving for 5 days in England for my brother's fiance's hen do. So it would have been her hen weekend, and we were staying in an Airbnb there and just doing some really fun stuff to celebrate her. The next thing would have been at the start of July. I was going to Ukraine for I think 2 weeks on a mission team, which is, to be honest, probably the thing I'm like the most sad about, that it's been cancelled, because that was just something, it's like a kind of thing with my church. Every time I think about it, it makes me so sad that I'm not going. But obviously none of us are going. It's not like the whole team's going without me or anything. And at the end of July, oh actually maybe the beginning of August, I was leading at a camp for children with special needs. It's a camp that I did last year as well. My brother should have been getting married in August, so that obviously should have been happening, and they've had to postpone their wedding, which is really, really sad. And then in September, my family and I should be going to Italy, and we were going to have a week in Lake Garda. So yeah, that was my super fun summer that has now been cancelled. Yay! Body image and how to deal with it. So kind of feel like I'm not that like qualified to speak on this, because I definitely struggle a lot with body image and the kind of dysmorphia of like thinking you look horrendous when you genuinely look absolutely fine. And to be honest, I think my biggest kind of thing of advice like and how to deal with body image is realistically, nobody cares how you look, and that might sound really like insensitive or whatever, but like nobody is going into their day worrying about how anyone else looks because they're probably too worried about how they look. We're not all made to look like the size 4 Victoria's Secret models that are 5'8" and have little skinny but somehow also toned legs and a really nice size bum, but they also have boobs. And I don't mean to sound horrible to people who do look like that, because if you do, well done to you. But also if you're size 16 and you also somehow don't really have a bum and you're like 5'4", because do you know what, our bodies get us through so flipping much. And if you really think that the most important thing about your body is how it looks, like I just think that's sad that that is what society has taught us, because we choose to overlook the fact that our bodies get us through extreme periods of sickness, of ill mental health. Our bodies are amazing of how much they take us through. So just like remind yourself of that next time you're doubting your body. We have been brought up in a world that teaches us the thing most worth getting compliments about is how we look, and literally just what we were born with. Like that just makes me so sad. Someone has asked, how did you stay motivated with Couch to 5k? I feel like definitely my biggest thing for this was just making myself do it, no matter how much I didn't want to, no matter how much I woke up on a day and thought, oh, I can't be bothered, there's nothing, I would rather do less than go for a run right now. Just making myself do it, because just do it for the sake of literally half an hour. And I know that I will feel better, because there is genuinely not one single time of the whole 9 weeks that I did not feel even the tiniest bit better after I had done my run, because I feel like I've accomplished something. So yeah, that would be my advice, is just do it. What makes you truly happy? And a couple of people asked similar questions to this. So I think for me, it's like the little things that aren't really little at all. It's waking up in the morning and going downstairs and seeing my dog. It's the hugs that I get from my mum when I come home from work. It's, you know, a Christmas tree with its little fairy lights, like all twinkling. Things that make me truly content within myself are, the biggest thing honestly is like my Christian faith. But other than that is just those little things, those little kind of parts of your day that you think are probably the like mundane things. They're kind of like almost routine, but for me those are the things that like really kind of hold my life together and give it like such a meaning. What are my plans for next year? This is definitely the most asked question. I had a lot of people asking this. So for those of you who don't know, oh, I also had a question that was, are you glad you moved for sixth form? So I'm gonna kind of combine these. So yes, I am so happy I moved schools for sixth form. So I'm gonna explain, like for those of you who don't know, I went to one school for year 8 until year 12, and then I moved to a different school for sixth form. So I moved to a different school for year 13 and year 14. The main reason I moved was because the first school I was at didn't want me to do the A-levels that I wanted to do, and I was very dead set on those A-levels. So that was kind of the main reason that I moved, but I just wasn't really entirely happy at my first school anyway, so it was 100% a great move for me. I felt like the school I ended up at for sixth form was genuinely just so much more accepting. Since about like year 11, year 10, year 11, I've not enjoyed school in terms of the actual school aspect of it, but in terms of the people, yes, I really did love my school that I went to for sixth form. And I'm so glad that I made that move. It was definitely the best thing for me and for my mental health. And what are my plans for next year? So this was definitely the most asked question. So for those of you that don't know, for A levels I studied biology, maths, nutrition, food science and English at AS. So I did those 4 subjects in year 13 and then I dropped English, literature. So for year 14 I only did biology, maths and nutrition and food science. I was always planning on a gap year. I was planning on taking next year, the first 6 months of the year, just to work and save up some money to help with the cost of university, and then spend the second 6 months of my year traveling. I actually had an internship lined up that I haven't really told that many people about. I don't really want to talk about it because I'm just kind of sad that I don't get to do it. But yeah, so this next 6 months of my year, we're going to be kind of travel and just like doing stuff that I wanted to do. But then when this whole thing happened, I had 2 main concerns about actually taking a gap year. Hi guys, so I'm just jumping in here to say I was editing this video and basically the way I've just said like, oh, there's 2 things that kind of were concerns, I honestly take like what 10 minutes to explain those 2 things, and there was no way of me cutting it to make it shorter, and it was just so unnecessary how long it was. So I'm going to try and explain it really briefly now. Basically, I was worried that my grades wouldn't be taken as seriously if I reapplied for uni next year, being compared to people in the year below me, because I never actually had to sit my exams. And then secondly, one of the main reasons I was taking a gap year was to like give myself a break from school, and because of coronavirus, meaning I finished school basically in March, I have kind of had that break. So yeah, just wanted to jump in here and explain that real quick. I haven't told that many people this, but my plan for next year is that I have the job I have at the moment. I will probably continue with that job until about December. I wanted to go away, I wanted to go to Edinburgh, however financially it just wasn't an option. So I have got an offer to study Bachelor of Science adult nursing degree at Queen's University starting in February of 2021, and that is a 3-year degree. A few people actually asked, do you have any regrets? No, I really don't. There are definitely things that I look back on and I think, oh, I wish I did that differently, or I could have definitely handled that better. But I definitely don't regret anything I've done and any decisions I have made, because I 100% believe that every experience I've had and every decision I have made in my life has brought me to where I am today. And I believe that I wouldn't be the person I am without having made those mistakes. And I've definitely learnt from all of those experiences and choices. I also fully believe with my whole heart that everything that has happened in my life and everything that will happen in my life is a part of God's plan. Top 3 things you look for in a boy. Okay, that he's a Christian. Definitely learnt the hard way on that one. Just respect, like mutual respect. I feel like it is so ridiculous because that should 100% just be a given in any friendship, relationship, like any human interaction. But unfortunately it's not. So respect of my views and opinions, respect of my choices, respect of me just and my body, and the choices I make with myself and for my family. And the third thing would be, and genuinely like I hate that this is a thing that I care about, but it is someone who is taller than me, because I just like, this is so, it's probably awful, and because I do hate that this is something that I kind of feel is like necessary, but I just think because it's one of my biggest insecurities is I've always felt that I'm too tall, so having a boy be taller than me kind of means a lot to me, in that it's like they kind of, I don't know, I just feel like it kind of lessens that insecurity. So maybe that's really shallow, but just being honest. This is going to be my last question because I've literally been filming for an hour and 15 minutes now, and I kind of think that's ridiculous at this point. So my final question is, I had quite a few people ask things like, how do you stay so positive, tips for staying positive. Someone said, how do you stay so nice to everyone, which is so lovely. But yeah, I just think that kind of in terms of like positivity, I definitely don't want you guys to think that I'm always positive. I try to be very like real on my social media of how I portray myself and how I portray my mental health, because it is something I have struggled with, and I'm very, very open about my mental health struggles. My main things for staying positive for me personally are getting up at a reasonable time, having a routine, so kind of having a time that I get up same time most days, eating breakfast is just so important. Exercise definitely helps me mentally. Even whenever I don't feel like I've had like a good workout, I still feel like I've achieved something. I think taking care of your mental health shouldn't be seen as like a luxury, and it shouldn't be seen as, you know, you're really lucky. I've had people say that to me, like, you're really lucky that you take care of your mental health, and I'm kind of like, what? Like, it shouldn't be a luxury. Like, I don't think it should be. And this is definitely something I was guilty of, you know, a couple of years ago, like thinking like I don't have time to take care of my mental health. Like, I'm sorry, what even is that? If you have glandular fever, if you have a broken arm, if you have asthma, if you have, you know, anything wrong with you physically, you would make time, okay? It's not about having time to go and get a prescription for an inhaler because you have asthma. It's not about having time to go and get your wrist x-rayed because it's probably broken. In terms of staying positive and, you know, working on your mental health, it shouldn't be a luxury. It shouldn't be seen as like, oh, you're so lucky you have time to work on your mental health. I'm sorry, but you should be making time for that. You should be prioritizing yourself sometimes, because it genuinely just upsets me the amount of people that I know that struggle with their mental health, and they prioritize anything and everything above sorting themselves out. And I've been there, so like I don't want to sound like I'm lecturing you, because I've 100% been in that position. For me, spending time in nature, spending time in the Bible and in prayer, spending time with my own thoughts, even when that is like a really difficult thing to do, because for me it is hugely difficult. Exercising, eating enough and eating well, but also not punishing myself, you know, not seeing food as like this kind of enemy. I'm gonna have to finish off this video. I'm really sorry I did not get to answer all of the questions, but I definitely really enjoyed filming this video, and if you guys would like to see another one of these, then give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment and subscribe down below and let me know that this is something you would like me to do more of. Like I said, if I'm gonna do another one of these videos, I will always ask over on my Instagram for the questions, so if you want to be involved in the next one, then head on over there. But yeah, I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and if you sent in a question, thank you so much, even if I didn't get around to answering your question. Big love to all of you guys, and I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope it's a good one. Love you lots, guys. Bye.